You finally did it. After months of sacrificing, saying no to things, watching every dollar you hit $10,000 in savings. And you know what happens next? Nothing. No party. Your rent is still due. Your phone bill didn't disappear. Your life looks exactly the same on the outside as it did when you had $200 in your account. And somehow, despite $10,000 sitting right there, you still feel broke, maybe even more anxious than before because now you have something to lose. So you start thinking, was this even worth it? Is $10,000 actually doing anything for me? Should I just spend some of it and enjoy life a little? That thought right there, that dangerous, completely understandable thought is exactly what we're talking about today. Because what you do at $10,000 in the next 90 days will determine whether you build real wealth or end up back at zero wondering what went wrong. My name is Jesse, and I spend way too much time thinking about the money decisions people make right after hitting a big savings milestone. If you've been grinding to save but aren't sure what to do once you get there, hit subscribe and give this a thumbs up if it helps you out. Let's get into it. Here's the thing most people believe about $10,000. They think it's a finishing line. They saved it, they made it, now they can relax. And look, I completely understand that. Because saving $10,000 is genuinely hard. A Federal Reserve study found that over 56% of Americans have less than $10,000 in total savings. So if you've hit this number, you are already ahead of the majority of working adults. That is real. That matters. But here's what most people don't realize. $10,000 is not a destination. It is a launching pad. And nobody tells you what to launch into. So people either spend it, let it sit doing nothing, or make one of three specific mistakes that sends them right back to zero. Today, you're going to know exactly what those mistakes are and exactly what to do instead. But first, let me show you why $10,000 is genuinely a special number. Because this is where it gets really interesting. At $1,000, you have an emergency buffer. At $5,000, you have breathing room. But at $10,000, something fundamentally changes. You have options, real options. $10,000 in a high-yield savings account at 4.5% earns $450 per year, passively, without doing anything. That's $37 per month just for money existing in the right place. Now here's the number that should stop you cold. $10,000 invested at age 27 inches, a basic S&P 500 index fund at the historical average of 10% annually becomes approximately $175,000 by age 65 without adding another single dollar. That one decision at $10,000 is worth $165,000 in future wealth. One decision, $165,000. That is why what you do at this mark matters more than almost any financial decision you will make in your 20s and 30s. Most people waste it. Here are the three ways they do it. Mistake number one is the reward trap, and this gets almost everybody. You saved $10,000 through real sacrifice. Every skipped dinner, every ignored cart, every boring weekend at home, your brain kept score. And now it wants to collect. It tells you you deserve this. A vacation, something you've been putting off. Just loosen up a little. And so people spend $2,000, then a little more. And over 3 months, $10,000 quietly becomes $6,000. Then the grinding starts over. This is called lifestyle creep, triggered by milestone achievement. We are wired to reward ourselves after completing hard goals. The problem is that $10,000 was never the real goal. Financial security was, and $10,000 is just one step. Now you might be thinking, Jesse, am I never allowed to enjoy my money? Completely fair. Here is how to handle it correctly. Before you hit your next milestone, decide your reward in advance and cap it at 5%. On $10,000, that is $500. A weekend trip, a nice dinner. Something real but controlled. You celebrate. The other $9,500 goes to work immediately. Pre-committing to a specific reward removes the open-ended temptation. That one shift is the difference between people who compound wealth and people who yo-yo between $0 and $10,000 their entire lives. Mistake number 2 is dead money. And this one costs people more long-term than almost anything else. Not because they spend it, because they do absolutely nothing with it. People hit $10,000, feel relieved, and leave it in a standard account, earning 0.01% interest. Basically zero, and it just sits there for months, sometimes years. Here's what that costs in real numbers. Inflation runs at roughly 3% per year. Every year your $10,000 sits doing nothing. It loses $300 in real purchasing power. In 4 years, your $10,000 has the buying power of about $8,800, even though the number on your screen still says $10,000. The difference between leaving $10,000 in a standard bank account versus a high-yield savings account earning 4.5% is approximately $2,000 over 4 years. $2,000 earned by doing nothing except opening a different account. One afternoon of action. Dead money is sneaky because it doesn't feel like a mistake. Your balance doesn't drop. Nothing looks wrong. But your wealth is quietly shrinking every single month. Mistake number 3 is having no split strategy. Nobody talks about this one clearly, and it's why most people who hit $10,000 feel paralyzed about what to do next. $10,000 cannot all have the same job. You cannot put it all in savings, that's dead money. You cannot invest all of it, that's reckless, without an emergency buffer. You need a deliberate split where every dollar knows exactly what it is doing. The split depends on one question. Do you have a fully funded emergency fund? If no, keep $6,000 to $8,000 in a high-yield savings account as your emergency fund. That is 3 to 4 months of basic expenses for most people. The remaining $2,000 to $4,000 goes into your first investment account. Safety and wealth building happening at the same time. If yes, keep $2,000 as your opportunity buffer for things that come up but aren't true emergencies. The remaining $8,000 goes directly into investments immediately. Money without a purpose always gets spent. The split gives every dollar a job before it disappears. So, where does the investment portion actually go? Here is the honest, simple answer. First, if your employer matches your 401k contributions, get the full match before anything else. A 50% match is a 50% instant return. Nothing on earth beats that. Get it first, always. Second, open a Roth IRA. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,000 per year, and your money grows completely tax-free. Over 35 years, the tax savings alone can be $50,000 to $100,000. Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab all have 0 minimums, 15 minutes to open online. Third, inside your Roth IRA, buy a simple low-cost S&P 500 index fund, VOO, FSKAX, or SWTSX. Tracks the entire U.S. market. Fees under 0.05%. Historically, around 10% annually over long periods. That is the whole strategy. No stock picking, no timing the market. Boring wins every single time. Here is exactly what to do this week. Step 1. Open a high-yield savings account today. Marcus, Ally, or SoFi all offer above 4% right now. Move your emergency fund there immediately. This one action is worth $2,000 over 4 years. Step 2. Write down your split today. Emergency fund amount on one side, investment amount on the other. Give every dollar a specific job before this week ends. Step 3. Open a Roth IRA this week. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab. 0 minimums, 15 minutes online. Not someday, this week. Step 4. Make your first investment this week, even $500 into an index fund. Every day you wait costs compounding time. You can never get back. Step 5. Set $25,000 as your next target right now. Write it down. Put a date on it. People without a next target drift. People with a target move. Most people spend their entire financial lives never reaching $10,000. If you're at that mark or working toward it, you are already doing something the majority of people around you have never done. But But this is where the real game begins, where your money starts working instead of just sitting, where compound interest stops being a concept and starts showing up in your actual account, where the gap between people who build real wealth and people who stay permanently stuck starts to open up. Don't let the reward trap spend it. Don't let dead money shrink it. Don't let no strategy paralyze you. You did the hard part by saving it. Now do the smart part by using it correctly. Drop a comment. Tell me where you are right now. At $10K, still pushing toward it, already past it. I read every comment and I want to know. Hit like if this gave you something real today. Subscribe for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Every video is one thing you can actually use. I will see you in the next one.